Already started then. Well, welcome to Minority Real Estate Millionaires. I am your host with the most, Mr. Ray, and we're going to be talking about today how to acquire and to manage tenants. This is very key to your millionaire real estate opportunities that you're going to have, and it's very, very important that you select the right tenants, and not only selecting those tenants, but also being able to keep those tenants in your property. So I think I'm going to do it a little bit differently today. I only have a few slides, so after each slide, I'm actually going to pause and to allow some general discussions to take place, because I think this is a very, very important message, and I also want to make sure that I get all the questions answered. So we will allow some time after each slide for individuals to ask questions. So let's go ahead and get started. So of course, I like to lead off with Black Lives Matter. Let everybody know where we stand. We are in support of this movement, and we do agree that there should be some changes made in order for equality around a lot of issues to be had and to be improved for Black lives really to matter. We need to have those things happen. So full support there, and we continue. The struggle continues, and the struggle is real. Do not forget that. So let's go ahead on. So the agenda for today, I'm going to be talking about tenant acquisition. We're going to talk about tenant application, and then we're going to talk about tenant administration. These are three key pieces when we're talking about who we're going to be allowing in our properties. So let's start out with a little Rayism, baby. Get some Rayisms in here. First of all, it's very important to understand that doing what you like is freedom. That's freedom, right? That's a good thing, good thing. But liking what you do is happiness. Let that simmer on you a little bit. Doing what you like is freedom. But liking what you do, or in my case, loving what you do, that's happiness, baby. You want some happiness? Find something you like and get to doing it. For me, it's real estate, baby. We making money all day, every day. So let's talk about this little tenant acquisition. Tenant acquisition. This is a key part of being a minority real estate millionaire and being the best at what you do. So the key is you want to make sure that you're attracting, but not only attracting, you need to make sure you're keeping great tenants. That's going to make sure that your cash flow is continually flowing every month. So the first thing you need to understand is that you need to make sure that the property is up to par and that is ready to receive a quality tenant. And what do we need to make sure that we have for a quality tenant? We need to make sure, everybody need to make sure that you are, I'm getting a little feedback here. I need to make sure everybody is muted. Go ahead and mute. So the four key principles that you must have in a property. It's got to be clean, it's got to be safe, got to be affordable and functional. We've already talked about that. I won't go into detail about that. If you got some more questions around that, you need to ask me. So after you got the property ready, it's clean, you got pictures, you're ready to go. The next thing you need to do, you need to make sure that you set that rent price right? That's very, very key. You don't want to price it too high because you might not get anybody to come by and look at it. You want to price it too low, you're going to be losing out on money. So it's very, very important that you look at the comparable rents in that area. at least 3 to 4 blocks around, or maybe even the whole zip code, just to see what rents are. And you need to make sure that you price that property accordingly. I like to be on the high side because I want to make sure I got nice properties, and then I'm attracting the right tenants. So I'll start high sometimes. For instance, over there at the Ballot property, I started right at 1,200 because I knew that's what I'd get. But I probably could have got a little bit more, but we got the property rented within 1 day, so we're good to go over there. The next, you got to make sure that you advertise your property so people know that it's available, right? You got to put a sign in the yard, do your online stuff, put posters, whatever. Let everybody who's anybody know that you have a property that's available for rent. And then you got to screen those prospective tenants. I like to make sure that when people call me about the property, the first screening takes place over the phone. You may not even get past that screening if you don't answer my questions correctly. And we've talked about that before, but if you've got some questions around what questions you should ask, then let me know. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And then set parameters for what type of tenants that you want in your property, right? For me, I look at income. I look at they've been previously evicted. I don't want any pets. I'm looking at time on the job. So those are the types of things that I'm looking for in my tenant selection, because I want the very, very best tenant for that property. And then also you want to make sure that you're verifying the information that the tenant is giving you. The previous address, I will contact the previous landlord if they gave you that. In fact, I would definitely do that, and verify employment verification. If they have check stubs, I will get copies of those. Anything that they're telling you, you want to make sure that you're verifying that, right? And then select the best tenant for the property. So at that, I'm gonna stop right there and see if anybody's got any questions on this particular slide. Tenant acquisitions, any questions?
When you are verifying their employment, are you double checking how much they make too, to make sure that they're making enough to?
No, they're not going to tell you how much they're making. They will only tell you if they work there or not. That's all you're going to get out of them. And a lot of times when you're verifying where they previously lived at, if it's an apartment complex, they require you to send in a fax to verify who you are to give information. And only then, they're only going to tell you that they live there. They're not going to tell you if they're late or past due or any of that kind of stuff. You kind of have to find that out on your own. But if they're renting from an individual landlord like myself, most of us landlords will talk to each other, because we'll tell each other, hey, they're a good tenant, bad tenant, they take care of the property, they trash it or whatever. You can get that information from a lot of time from landlords that have single properties. But if you call a big management company or apartment complex like that, they're just going to verify that they live there, and that's all you're going to get. What else?
What about a tenant with a disability? Do you make accommodations for them, or do you accept them?
Yeah, I will accept them. It depends on the accommodations. You're not required to make those accommodations, depending upon what the handicap is. But if it's reasonable, I will make those accommodations. But I'm not going to tear out walls. I'm not going to build an elaborate ramp all the way up to the house. I'm not going to do that, and I'm not required to do that. What else?
What would you say would be the optimal time on a job, like based on your good tenant policy?
Yeah, so I like them to be on the job for at least 2 years. Every now and then I will take them if they've been on there for a year, because if they can show me that they was at the previous job for 4 or 5 years, that makes a difference. But let's say they just been on this job for a year, they've been on another job for a year, they're just hopping around. That's not really the type of tenant I'm looking for. What else? Tenant acquisition. Very, very important.
So basically, do you set most of the rules? I know that there's not a rule book or anything for this, but basically, this is what you prefer to have out of your tenants that are going to be occupying your house. So is that the base, a guideline? So for each and every one of us that are trying to do this, we kind of create what we want or what we should have in a sense of who you're going to allow, whether it's pets or otherwise.
Yes, absolutely. So I set those parameters, and so it'll be up to you. You're the landlord. You can set those parameters. But Johnny and others out there, they can probably vouch and say, yeah, these are good parameters, and they may have some others that I don't have here. All right, let's
And I
go
would
on.
even add,
Go ahead.
yeah, and I would even add to that, those parameters are the things that I talk through on the phone screen. I mean, because those are the, the absolutes. So those parameters are questions I talk through on the phone screen. So I don't even, I don't have pets, so no pets. I don't allow it. So if pets is a big deal for you, let's go ahead and keep moving, right? I mean, so I try to make sure I have my absolutes as part of the initial conversation.
Absolutely, because what you don't want to do is start showing your property to a lot of people that's not even going to meet your parameters. So you weed them out on a phone call, and you only allow people to see your property that meet your parameters. All right, let's go to the next one. We can come back with any more questions you might have. So I'm not going to, okay, yeah, let's just go ahead and go to Zillow Rentals right now. I'm going to show you how I post my properties online. So let's go to Zillow. So here is in Zillow, we have what we call the rental manager, and this is where I would go and put all of my properties, right? So here's my property on ballot, and then all my properties are in here that I have rented, let's say over the last year or so, right? So all of them show off the market. There's none of them that's on the market right now. But if I went into the property, I could just click on the property, go here to the listings, got all the pictures that I've uploaded. So I will put my rent amount, my security deposit amount, all the parameters around how many bedrooms, baths, what's the duration of the lease, then all the amenities that's in the property. Then I'd put a nice little description in there, right? And then I would go down here, again, there's your pictures. You put all your pictures in that you want. And then you would go down here and where it says publish listing, and I will publish it and it'd be out there for everyone, right? And then you also, as the tenants look at your property, they send messages, okay? And so they say, hey, I want to look at this property. So you can see for Ballard, I've got these people that were looking at the property. They're interested, they want to see it. So I would call these individuals back. I would look up their information. This one says I'm available for tour tomorrow evening. I would look over here at the call and I would pick their number up right here. I just give them a call and screen them out before I ever set up an appointment to see them. So this is Zillow Rental Manager. Anybody got any questions on this? And this is free. It's on Zillow. You just go in and you get it set up. And this is where I get most of my tenant opportunities from. Everybody good with that?
So when you create your account on Zillow, basically if you have numerous properties, basically you just put in the address and it pulls all of them up so that you can manage and maintain them from whatever account that you created, correct?
Yes, right here. So all these are all my properties. They're assigned to me. Zillow makes you go in and claim the property, and it verifies that you are the owner, right? So once you claim the property, it's yours, then you're available to put it up for sale or for rent or anything that you want to do on the property, right? Let's see, let's load some more properties. Yeah, okay, so those are the properties that I have rented. A lot of my properties have never been for rent in the last 10 years because all my tenants, they never move. So these are only the properties that people are moving in and out of. My other properties, I've never even put them on Zillow. So that's always a good thing that you never have to put them up for listing. Questions, comments? All right, let's go back. All right, so we're back to the presentation. Everybody see the presentation? We should be good to go. Make sure we're sharing it. So after you have acquired a tenant, now you want to get the tenant into your system. So after the tenant passes the initial screening, you want to invite them to apply. And so what I'm doing during the coronavirus is I'm sending them an electronic copy of the application. I'm asking them to fill that out and to scan it and send it back to me, so we don't even have to meet to do that. And then I also review the highlights of the lease agreement with the tenant. So the highlights is, rent's due by the 3rd, it's late by the 4th, no pets. I would go through the highlights. You break it, you fix it, those type things, just to let them know here are the critical things you need to understand about an application when you sign it with Juice Properties. Okay. And then, once you've approved them, then make sure you get your deposit and your first month's rent. What I like to do now is I try to make sure all my new tenants get set up with electronic payments only, right? I don't want to go to the mailbox. I don't want to go to the post office. None of that during this pandemic. So I want to make sure that I get them set up, PayPal, Cash App, or else if they want to do a direct transfer into my account, I can give them the routing number and account number. But I want to make it as seamless as possible for me to get my rent. Then I ain't got to worry about, hey, it's in the mail, it's this, it's that. It's either in my account or it's not, right? And then also review and have them to sign the move-in, move-out document. So the move-in, move-out document, I'll show you here in a minute. It's a document that shows the condition of the property when you move in, right? Is this broke? Is this cracked? Is this it? I have them sign off on because you're verifying this is the condition of the property when you take it. So in a year from now, 2 years from now, when you move out and you say, oh, that was broke when if it ain't marked on the move-in, move-out document, baby, we ain't even gonna deal with it. You got to pay for it, right? So that's just good documentation verification that you want to make sure that you get from your tenant when they first move in. And then it's always good to set your parameters for your landlord-tenant relationship, right? So here's where you let the tenant know. Here's how I do business. My office hours are 8 to 5. You can call me anytime, text me anytime during that time if you got some issues. But after those hours, I don't want to hear from you, right? Unless it's an emergency, and that means the house burning down, the flooding, or something, or it could be that let's say for instance, people say, well, what is an emergency? Okay, my air conditioner is out. Oh, my air conditioner went out at 2 o'clock in the morning. Is it necessary for you to call me 2 o'clock in the morning? Could you not wait till 8 o'clock in the morning to call me, right? So again, this is just an opportunity for you to set the parameters for how you're going to do the business, right? So any questions on the tenant application? Any questions?
So you mentioned the auto drive.
Yeah.
The fees that you get from using those services like Cash App, do you account for that like equivalent to if you were going to drive to them or something like that?
I don't have any fees associated with Cash App or PayPal.
Oh, you don't have any credit card fees or anything like that for Cash App?
Nope, I don't. Do you?
I use PayPal. I don't have any with PayPal.
Yeah, Cash App and PayPal, there's no fees associated. If you do friends on PayPal and Cash App, if you're just doing it out of your bank account, you're good.
Okay, you do friends. Okay, I got you. All right, thank you.
Yeah. What else? All right, let's keep moving then. I don't hear any questions. So let's go to my some of these documents. Let me show you some of these documents that we have. So first one is going to be application here. So here's the application. Here's a copy of the application that that I use. I've been using this for years. There's probably better applications out there, but I get the general information, what I want. You know, all their information, where they used to live at, how long they were there, social security number, home number, landlord's name, who's going to be in the property, all your employment information, who your supervisor, how long you've been there, how much money you make, your bank account, list your creditors. Then I ask for emergency, I want references, the vehicles and all that good stuff. So that's the application. Then down here at the end, it asks them to verify, make sure that they've never been evicted or filed bankruptcy or anything like that. I want them to declare that, because as soon as I get this application, I'm going to go check and verify if they've been evicted or if they've had bankruptcy or not. So that's that document. Any questions on the application for the tenant?
On that application, where do you find out if they've been evicted or had a bankruptcy? Where do you go to find out that information?
That's another class. And so
Okay.
I would take you guys through that because there's a couple places online that you can go. And so I'll show you guys how to do that. If we have time today, I'll go back through that, Gabriel. Remind me if we got a little time.
Yes, sir.
What else? Any other questions? All right, so let's go to the move in, move out document. So the move in, move out document, this is where the tenant, again, it has every room on here, living room, kitchen, bathroom. And so it has 3 columns. It has the move in condition and it has the move out condition, right? And then, so when they move in, that's the only column that they're going to be filling in, right? So is it, does it need painting? Does it need cleaning? Does it need repair? Is it broken? So they would identify those. If they put NC in there, that means it needed cleaning. NP needed painting. So you just have them put the initials in there for the things that they find out of whack. All right. And you just go through every area. You got the refrigerator, you got the stove, you got all the bedrooms, dining rooms, all the mechanical stuff, heat and air, water heater, all that stuff is listed there for them in order to see that the property is in good, perfect running condition when they get it. Then you have them to sign it, because once they sign that document, now it's legally binding that they have verified and documented that this is the condition of the property when they move in. Any questions? Okay. Let's go back to presentation. All right, so those are the 3 documents that we used. All right, now let's talk a little bit about tenant administration. Now that you got them, they've paid their deposit, they paid the first month's rent. Now this is the ongoing conversations that you have with your tenants as they're in your property and as you have issues, right? Okay, so you want to always make sure that you establish a good working relationship with your tenants, right? You're not their friends. You're not their buddies. This is a relationship. It is a landlord-tenant relationship. And so while I tell people all the time, be nice, but be firm, right? You want to treat them with respect, and that way that they'll treat you with that same respect. So you set the right expectations, right? And the number 1 expectation that I want you to know, your rent is due on the 3rd, right? I'm going to provide you a property. I'm going to make sure it's in good working condition, but I expect to receive my money by the 3rd of every month. And it is late on the 4th. No exceptions, baby. No exceptions. I want my money on time. Do not accept partial rent payment or pay arrangements, at least initially, right? Until you build a good working relationship with your tenants, you need to be firm right up front. Don't go, oh, let's cut a deal. Can I pay half the deposit? Can I pay half here? Don't get into all that, because you're going to find yourself in trouble. You're never going to get your money. Do not accept. Make it very clear you need your money, right? You provide them a property, you're gonna need your money. Ah, I love this one. If you break it, you fix it, right? I'm responsible to make sure that heat and air is working, and hot water tank is working, all that stuff. But if you break a glass, you break a window, you break anything in that house, guess what? I'll fix it for you, but then I'm gonna bill you for it, right? So if you break it, you fix it. Make sure they understand that. My office hours are 8 to 5. I don't want to hear from you otherwise, right? Unless it's an extreme emergency. 8 to 5. That gives you 40 hours a week to call me, right? And do not call me on the weekend. That is one way to get on my bad side, right? Because I'm enjoying my life. I'm out here making real estate millions, and I need to be enjoying it, right? Keep good records, baby. Make sure you understand when those lease agreements need to be renewed so you can get them out to them 30, 60 days prior to renewal. Make sure you understand when you're going to be raising rents. I mean, keep good records on when are they late, right? If they're late, you document that. You make sure you bill them for them late fees, all that good stuff. Keep good records on your tenant. All the information that they give you, I didn't say earlier, but you always make sure you get a copy of their driver's license, right? You're getting a copy of their driver's license every time. Be nice, but be firm. I've already said that. And if they give you a bad check, make sure you charge them a return check fee and tell them you won't be accepting any more checks after that, right? That's what I do. And you can require electronic payments. In this day and time, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to require electronic payment. That's what I'm doing. I'm pushing all of my people to electronic payment. Now, I got a couple of old ladies. They probably still got rotary phones, so I'm probably not going to get them on nothing electronic, right? But everybody else, of the 25 properties I got, 24 of them or 23 of them are going to be on electronic payments. Any questions?
So you mentioned the 24 properties, but it was like 17 listed on Zillow.
Yeah, I told you some of them ain't never been up for rent, ever. Because I've had them for 15, 20 years and they ain't never moved.
Wow.
So I have no need to put them on Zillow because the tenants ain't going. There ain't nobody moved out the property. What else?
Hey Ray, I got a comment on the Zillow rental manager. So this during the Corona, they've offered tenants to be able to make their application through the Zillow rental manager.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they'll fill it out. And I'm also just began using Zillow rental manager to actually set up the electronic rent payment starting September 1.
All right. See, they got a lot of stuff. You guys need to go in there and look at that Zillow rental manager. They got a lot of stuff in there that's available to help landlords to make it seamless from getting your money, getting tenants set up. Like Johnny said, you're just getting the application all online. That's all good information, baby. Use it to your advantage. It's there for you to use. It's free. Appreciate that info, Johnny. Any other questions? Okay, let's see. We got about 10 minutes
Mr.
left.
Ray, my bad. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
So the model for my rentals is more like short-term rental, but I still want to have a move-in, move-out checklist.
Okay.
Looking at yours, it looks like it'd be a little bit too extensive for my model. But that being said, like, how would you suggest approaching that same checklist from a short-term rental?
Okay, so what I would do, I would walk through the property. I would just get a clean sheet of paper, maybe, put on there living room, dining room, just few, and then walk through with the owners. Is there anything out of place, anything broken? Let me know now. Document that and just have them sign it. That way you don't have to have that extensive list, but you have a document that notates what issues that the tenant did find. And sometimes if they find stuff that, hey, that I missed, then I'll just go ahead and fix it right there.
Okay, cool. That's kind of the tenant moved in.
Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we kind of went with that same thing Sunday when we moved our tenant in. So it's good to know that's kind of the direction we should be taking.
Yeah, absolutely. You're just trying to cover yourself that the tenant can't say, "Oh, that was broke when I moved in." No, it wasn't broke. We signed it right here, baby. There was another question.
Yeah, my question in regard to the lease agreement.
Thank you.
Do you always try, like what terms do you typically accept? Do you do more than 1 year at a time, or is it always just 1 year agreements, or do you do longer term agreement?
So no, I don't really do longer term agreement. If the tenant requests a longer term agreement, of course I'll do a longer term. The longer the better for me, but the standard in the industry is a year. Now, some of my tenants, after they've been with me for 5 years or so, some of them want to go month to month because they may be thinking about buying a property, moving to get a house. I will go month to month on that, but the tenant is at risk there because I can raise the rent just by giving them 30-day notice. So it's in the tenant's benefit to have as long a lease as they can if they are planning on living in that property. But normally you can't live in my property without being a lease. Rarely do I do month to month. I always like that tenant on the lease, a 1 year lease agreement. Questions? All righty, let's see.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just share with the gentleman just spoke. Every person I've had over, we start out with a year lease, but every person that wanted to go month to month, for example, you kind of alluded to, Ray, about maybe wanting to find another home or something like that. I've always raised the rent, and I explained to them I'm the one taking the risk now, and so and no one has ever gave me any pushback. So I've been able to raise the rent.
How much do you raise it, Johnny? Let's say the rent was $600. They want to go month to month. How much you raise it to?
Usually it's been around $50, right? So I go to $650.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to beat them all the way out, but I'm also trying to cover the fact that they can move out within a month, and I could have had someone in here on a lease, and that's kind of conversation I've had. No one's really gave any pushback up to this point.
Yeah, I think that's a good move. I like that. In fact, I'm going to incorporate that into my business plan. See, you're never too old to learn. See, I'm even learning some stuff. Let's see here. We still got a few more minutes. Any other questions? Got just a few more minutes for questions. I had some other stuff I was going to go through. I was going to talk about. Again? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Is that Roxanne I heard?
Yes, I missed that last part of he said that you.
You breaking up, Roxanne.
You said your business plan.
You breaking up. I didn't hear it, but 2 words you said.
She missed the last part that you said you're going to add to your business plan.
Oh, I'm going to add the 50. If I go month to month with you, then I'm going to raise my rent $50. I like that. Johnny said that. I'm going to add that to my business plan. Okie dokie, Smokey. That's all I got for today. I hope this information was helpful to you. I didn't go into as deep a detail that I can go into, but I wanted to give you guys some insight about why it's important to make sure that this piece of the business you get right is getting the right tenant in your property and keeping them in there as long as you can. That's the goal of a real estate millionaire, David. All right.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah.
Could you please touch on the subject that most all new real estate owners encounter, and that is renting to family and friends?
Yes, sir. Don't do it. I don't care. I know they have problems. They just lost their house. They lost their job. I know that you got one open. They could just stay there for a little bit. Don't do it. It always ends bad. It just does. And so I love my family. I love them dearly, but I will never, ever rent to near one of them. If I do anything, I'll just let them stay there. They hurting that bad, I'll just let them stay there for free, right? But I'm not going to sign a contract, a lease agreement with a family man. There's just too many ways that it can go wrong. And so that's my feeling on it. As newbies, you should never rent to family and or friends. Don't do it. Does that make it clear, Johnny?
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to end this wonderful show. We'll be back. I got some good stuff I want to share with you guys on Thursday when we do our deep dive. I've got the Ballot property already rented. I've got the Madison property up for sale. So we're going to go in some details around what I've been doing around. I've been busy. That's why I've been canceling my meetings lately, but I'm back. I'm back for a moment. Hey, and I got a new real estate agent in the house. My lovely wife, Lila, is now a real estate agent. I have access to the MLS, baby. I got full access to do anything I want because my baby is now a real estate agent. She can help anybody out there. If you got some real estate needs, call my baby. She can take care of you. All right, with that, that's my PSA for today. I love you guys. I'll see you on Thursday. Have a great day.